Hey guys, what's up? It's Simone Fan 101. Now, I know it's been a while since I last recorded, but lately I've been dealing with a lot of homework, and I would have recorded in the past couple of weeks, but oddly enough, I got really sick the past couple of weeks, so I've been sounding like shit, and I apologize if I sound a little different. It's because I technically still am sick. I have my little toilet paper roll to blow my nose because seriously, I need it. I'm feeling better enough to do videos, and I'm sorry that I did not review WrestleMania or any of those shows when they happened. It sucks for me. That's why I'm recording right now. Try to get that shit all out of the way. If you guys just heard of that, that's the wind. It's pretty friggin' windy right now as I'm recording, so it's gonna be a little bit weird. At least for me. Maybe not for you guys if you can't hear it. But this is the review for Roadblock, End of the Line. More like Roadblock, End of my ass. I mean, seriously. The way they... And look, I know it was a few months ago, but I'm going to say it as if... partially as if it just happened. Roadblock, End of the Line? Are you goddamn serious? I mean, I get they wanted to differentiate it from the same Roadblock show that happened back in February of last year. But I get that. But you didn't have to call it. They kept on calling it Roadblock, End of the Line, Roadblock, End of the Line. It's just, it really got annoying. I'm glad they stopped. Now, as for the card, it was a pretty short card, actually. It was a 6-match card, which is relatively normal. And by normal, I mean, like usually there's always, like, 7 or 8, maybe 9 matches on a show. Roadblock, there was only 6, so keep that in mind. You'd think that'd be, okay, hallmarks of a good show. Had some good wrestling, some pretty fucking stupid decisions. So let's pick up my little pooper scooper here and dig into some of this dog shit. The first match actually was done pretty friggin' well. It was the New Day's, the New Day who were the tag team champions at the time against Cesaro and Sheamus. You're also going to be hearing coughing, so bear with me. But yeah, New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus, who were the challengers. Pretty friggin' good match, I have to say. I had a lot of fun with this match. There was a lot of back and forth between the teams. And when the end happened, it got real hectic. Again, Xavier would try to interfere, even though they're baby faces, which makes really little sense. But, yeah, with that said, even with the interference, it worked, because it didn't work. The interference did not work. He ended up getting friggin' bro kicked so hard that his mama was crying. Yeah, I said that. And, I forget if this was the match, but I believe this was the match where Cesaro went for a tag, or maybe it was Sheamus that went for a tag, and Cesaro pulled his hand away, like he was about gonna turn heel on Cesaro, or on Sheamus, whichever one it was. When in actuality, he was only doing it to fake out New Day, so that way they could get this surprise attack and win. That was really clever. In a world where there's not a lot of original finishes, that was one of them right there. As for the match, the match was a pretty good match. A nice fun opener. Sadly, not some of the rest of the card. The next match was Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn. There are a couple people that liked this match. Some people thought it was complete shit. I'm kind of in the middle. I think it was like a mediocre match, like mediocre more on the bad side. The first few minutes were really fun. The last minute was kind of cool. The last minute or so was kind of cool, but there was a lot of filler. So that's why I go in the middle on this one. But more so that it was a bad match. It was not that good of a match at all. It started out good. But then there were times when Sami Zayn was selling completely for Braun Strowman, which was good, but they did it for too long. This was the match, by the way, I almost forgot. This is the match, by the way, that had the 10-minute time limit. And if Sami Zayn reached 10 minutes, then apparently he won the match. Not a draw, but he won, which to me was just a cop-out. Mick Foley, who at the time was, as of recording this, at the time was general manager of Raw, and such a sad sack because he was so bad at the job. He came out with a white towel. What he was doing with that towel, I don't want to know. And he was going to throw in the towel, though, for Sami Zayn. Did not happen. Because Sami Zayn basically said, no. You do not throw that towel in. Strowman then ran himself into the steel steps, ran himself into the barricade, and then ran himself into the pole inside the ring. Yeah, the ring post, I mean. But yeah, this reminded me too much of what happened at Payback when Strowman was quote unquote injured by Roman Reigns when he ran through the door of the ambulance truck. So that was weird. But yeah, Sami Zayn reached the time limit. Apparently he won the match, which to me makes no sense. Wouldn't it technically be a draw? Because neither man pinned the other. So yeah, so wouldn't it be a draw, not Sami Zayn wins? It just came off as real weird. The next match, much like the New Day Cesaro Sheamus match, was actually a pretty good match between Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. Hang on. See what I mean? This was a real fun match, probably better than the opening in some ways, but not as good in some others. They're on kind of like on the same line. But yeah, Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. I expected a good match, but let's face it, we expected better out of Rollins and Jericho. Definitely considering the fact that earlier that year, Chris Jericho was having some pretty freaking great matches with AJ Styles. And yeah, it just they weren't bad or anything. It's not they didn't go out and stunk the joint out. No, it was a pretty good match, but I just thought that they could have done better. They had a pretty good match, but it was a disappointingly good match. Now with this match, what happened was, and this is during the storyline where Chris Jericho was teasing that he was gonna break up with Kevin Owens, which, man, that sounds a lot worse than actually what happened. Oh man, no, Chris Jericho did not date Kevin Owens at one point. That would be disturbing. Although that would lead a whole new element of character to that relationship. I'm not even gonna continue. This is too weird. Anyways, Jericho was being beaten, and then Kevin Owens came out, and Kevin Owens tried to interfere on Jericho's behalf. Seth Rollins tried to attack him. Kevin Owens jumped off the apron. I forget exactly. Remember, it's been a while since I've seen this show, so I just went back and watched the show, but briefly. I was kind of doing shit. But basically, Jericho mouthed off at Owens, told him to go to the back. He turned around and got hit by a pedigree by Seth Rollins, whenever the match was Seth Rollins. So again, pretty good match, just not great, as a lot of people thought it would be. Next, we had a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Rich Swann defending the Cruiserweight title against both Brian Kendrick and TJ Perkins, who were two former Cruiserweight champions. This match had several problems. One, they were just doing basic wrestling holds. They were doing moves. I'm not saying they weren't, but you could tell they were holding back. Two, the match only went like 6.5, 7 minutes. So yeah, that was That part, the fact that they didn't have a lot of time was kind of shit. Although, considering how long the match felt, it was probably good that they only got 6.5 minutes. But this went back to what was going on at the time. What, in some ways, still is going on now with the Cruiserweight division is that they're not getting all the time they need to work. I mean, granted, with right now, with Austin Aries in the picture and Neville as the champion, there's more opportunity. But back then, and still in some cases now, the Cruiserweights are not getting all the time they need. 205 Live, I think, is the biggest example of this. We did get a pretty good show the other week with Tozawa facing up against Kendrick and Nice facing up against Mustafa Ali, and some pretty good matches that actually went a decent length. But I'm talking about but they need to consistently do this where they have matches that go consistently from 10 to 12 minutes per show. Maybe in some cases make it short, but it almost felt like every single match was going only 5 minutes, which was stupid. And the matches that were going long, the guys are just doing basic wrestling holds. Like it felt like they were doing a chokehold for like 4 minutes. Just boring. Considering Vince McMahon apparently is behind 205 Live, I'm honestly not shocked. Let these guys do their shit. Okay, enough of that rant. The match itself was actually okay, but that's all I can give. Okay. I can only give it an okay. So, with that said, what I enjoyed about this match was not even the match itself. It was the aftermath. Rich Swann hit TJ Perkins with that kick, that spinning kick in the head, and then pinned him. And what happened? What happened was Neville came out. Remember, Neville at this point was still a babyface, but he hadn't been seen in what felt like months. It probably was months. He was like on the back of a friggin' milk carton. He was not part of the Cruiserweight division, despite the fact he was on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. And he came out. He had his beard that he recently grew after he was injured, and he turned heel by attacking. He came around the aisleway and into the ring, clapping. Then he attacked both Rich Swann and TJ Perkins. Did not attack Brian Kendrick because I guess either he didn't want to or Brian Kendrick was just smart enough to stay out of the way. But yeah, as in Neville, he being Neville, attacked both of them pretty savagely, I might add, and then immediately put himself at pretty much top contendership. And honestly, the Cruiserweight division has since been better for it. Thank Lord for Neville. Then we had the best match of the night with a shitty ending, at least part of a shitty ending. Sasha Banks defending the Women's Championship against Charlotte. First of all, great match. It was a 30-minute Iron Man match, which, aside from the NXT match with Sasha and Bayley, I don't think has ever happened before on the main roster. But, yeah, these women had a great match. Not shocking. But, again, and I'm just going to say right now, Charlotte won 3-2. It went overtime when it was originally 2-2. But this went back to the main problem of the women's division for months and months, is the fact that they need to preserve Charlotte's undefeated pay-per-view streak. Something that thankfully ended. But still, God, I really hated that pay-per-view streak, because all it did was hurt everyone else. It hurt Sasha. We thought it was going to hurt Bayley before Bayley beat her at Fastlane. More on that in my Fastlane review when I recorded. And yeah, this is the part that sucked. It was all really good selling from both parties. Charlotte and Sasha were really doing good, and then the last couple minutes happened. Specifically, like the last, literally 10 seconds. So at some point during the match, Sasha got her knee hurt, and Charlotte was working the knee, right? Okay, yeah, of course she's gonna work the knee, preparing for the figure eight. Anyway, what ended up coming to happen? Hang on, let me move the camera. What ended up happening was Charlotte had put Sasha in the figure eight, and then literally, like in the last 3 seconds, Sasha tapped out, making the record 2-2. Because at that point it was 2-1 in Sasha's favor. And then when she tapped out, it was 2-2. I'd understand if there was like a minute left on the time. Okay, you got to tap. But I'm not shitting you here. When you have 3 seconds left, or 5, or whatever, you keep on. You friggin' take the goddamn pain, so that way you can win the title or retain the title. That was stupid booking on their part. Because there have been times before in Iron Man matches when they did that, and it was still really stupid. But here, all it did was make Sasha look weak. Like, she looked strong, but weak. Because she did have a hurt knee. That's the injury she was selling. But it made her look really weak that she couldn't stand another 3 seconds. So that way she could win. And that win settled down a little bit. But still, it was still a great match, thank God. But I just wish they would have done something different here. Yeah. Last match was the main event, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. They went, I think, if I recall correctly, they went everywhere, anything from 23 to 25 minutes. And it really showed. This was a solid match, but it was nowhere near good or great. It was just solid. Which, considering the workers that were in the match, really disappointed. Especially from Kevin Owens' end. He tried. He certainly tried, and so I know Reigns did too, but it was just too long of a match. Considering and I already reviewed the Rumble, so considering the fact they had a pretty good no DQ match the month after, I was happy. This match, on the other hand, they tried a few spots. Kevin Owens did the rolling the running senton on the table, didn't break. Tried it again, it broke. Then later on, when Reigns had Owens beat, Chris Jericho, they didn't have Owens beat. They were kind of both down. Chris Jericho came out, helping Reigns. He nailed Kevin Owens with the code breaker, which caused the referee to call a DQ. And Roman Reigns, he got screwed because it was a master plan by Chris Jericho that even Kevin Owens did not know about. And Owens retained the title even though he lost. No, he won the match, but he won the match by DQ thanks to Jericho. Rollins, who just beat Jericho earlier that night, came out to attack both Owens and Jericho. Owens got laid out. Jericho ran into the ring. Got pedigreed by Rollins. Owens got speared a second earlier by Reigns. And both of them were hit with a version of the Shield Powerbomb without Dean this time. They hit the first one on Jericho through, I believe it was the Spanish announce table, and the second one was hit on the announce table near the stage. With the one with Cole, Graves, and at this point, Byron Saxton. So yeah, this is a show of two halves. The wrestling, for the most part, with a few exceptions, was pretty freaking good. The booking kind of sucked on some others. So this was really a mixed bag show, like a 50-50 kind of show. I think there's more good than bad here, but there's still plenty. There's still a little bit of bad. So really good. So not really good. Okay show. Wasn't the worst pay-per-view that year. Certainly was not the best. So with that said, guys, I'll put my ratings down below in the description box. I'll see you next time for what I believe is the Elimination Chamber review. So I'll enjoy that more than Roadblock because, God, Roadblock sucked. Roadblock kind of line. That kind of sucked. So see you next time, guys, with my Elimination Chamber review from 2017. Until next time, guys, have a good day. Peace, salutations, and everything like that. Yeah.